My name is Fred Karger. I'm a candidate for President of the United States. Yeah, I'm making history with this candidacy. I'm the first openly gay candidate to ever run for president. I'm doing it as a Republican, just to mix it up even a little bit more. Well, there are three basic reasons. One, I'm very concerned about the direction of the country. I work for Reagan. I've come up with kind of a Reagan-esque theme for my campaign, which is bringing back the American spirit. And that I consider optimism and getting along. In other words, having Washington get along with each other, the Republicans and Democrats. The second part is to try and move the Republican Party back to the center. I grew up, with Dwight Eisenhower and Charles Percy and Richard Nixon and Nelson Rockefeller, and it was a much more moderate Republican Party, and it's left, and a lot of Republicans have left the party. So I want to not ask anyone to leave, but I want to moderate the Republican Party, at least talk about the issues that concern younger people and bring back some of the disenfranchised Republicans. And then thirdly, as the first out gay candidate in history, I want to send a message to younger LGBT, people that you can do anything you want. You can even run for president.
Who cares if Fred is gay? Who cares if Obama's black or if Hillary's a woman? How do they stand on the issues? That is really what matters. Because we're hiring them to do their job. We're not hiring them because of who they date, who they sleep with, or what church they go to.
I have gotten tremendous response, positive response from the Republican Party. I had a meeting the day before I filed at the FEC. I met with the chairman, Reince Priebus, the vice chair, Sharon Day, and the chief of staff, Jeff Larson, in their office. They rolled out the red carpet for me. The states I've been into, Iowa, New Hampshire, same thing. The organized groups outside of the parties, the Southern Republican Leadership Conference, it's going on right now in New Orleans. They refused to include me, which is an independent organization. They just use the name Republican. And the CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference in D.C., they refused to even rent me a booth in their big exhibit hall after telling me that I was in. So, those are the people that are really the problem for me, and I fight every one of those. I'm trying to get in the debates. That's how I can get known, and I have come up with my entire strategy to do just that, to get in one or more of the presidential debates. If that happens, then, Fred Karger might not be Fred who.
Every Republican that we work with, from Barry Goldwater to Ronald Reagan to, including George W. Bush, who would admit it, would be so appalled by what has happened to the Republican Party, because Eisenhower, who is the first man that I've met as far as a president, said the Republican Party is and represents fiscal conservatism and social progressiveness. And those days are completely over, but that's what republicanism was all about.
I spoke just last Sunday, 6 days ago, at an event, the Hillsborough County Republican Flag Day Picnic. Older crowd, a lot of Republicans. Herman Cain was right before me. Tim Pawlenty right after me. There must have been 30, 40 national press there following them around, so I got a lot of coverage. I dropped the gay bomb, I call it. And, I talked about all the first commercials, the first hires, the first to file, the first exploratory committee, and the first openly gay candidate to ever run for president. And it's fun to look out at the crowd and watch their reactions. And it's a very much older crowd, and they, you could feel the uneasiness in the room. But it's important, and then I go on to say, it should be a Republican who's the first openly gay. It was Lincoln who freed the slaves. It was, Theodore Roosevelt who hired the first African Americans in any administration, only to be fired by the Democrat that succeeded him, Woodrow Wilson. So, let's bring back a reasonable Republican Party who fights for civil rights, who aren't bigots and don't hate people, and let's bring younger people in, and let's, mix it up and talk about a whole wide array of issues to fix the problems in this country.
Young people need to see that the Republican Party isn't just about intolerance and bigotry, and if Fred can touch a few people along the way, more power to him. Then it was all worthwhile.
Absolutely.